All right, we got another Blackhawks update video. Feels like I've been doing these almost every day here over the past week, but we have some more information on the lineup for tonight, as well as another Connor Bedard injury update. So yeah, let's just get right into it. The first thing we'll talk about here is Artyom Levshunov. He's going to be a healthy scratch tonight because he was late to practice yesterday. There were a few reports going around after Jeff Blashill got audibly frustrated with Levchenov at practice yesterday, but I can confirm that Blashill was very upset because Levchenov had showed up late to the team practice. Now, the quote from him this morning after morning skate is that he understands we have a standard, and that's been pretty clear. He's disappointed. It's hard when you feel like you didn't do it on purpose, and I get it, but you can't lack on your standards. So based off that quote, what it sounds like is this may have been something as simple as maybe Levchenov's car wasn't working yesterday morning for whatever reason. There were freezing cold temperatures in Chicago yesterday. So again, I don't think this is that big of a deal, but it will result in Artie being scratched tonight. Like I said, in yesterday's practice, Blashill, there was a sequence. He was yelling at Artie that was as loud as I've heard him all year, and I've been at all the practices practically so far. So the fact that I got to the rink before Artie yesterday probably wasn't a great sign for him playing tonight. But again, I don't want, this shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's an honest mistake is what it sounds like, especially since Blashill's saying he didn't feel like it wasn't on purpose or anything. So I don't think this is that big of a deal, but it will result in Artie missing tonight's game. As a result, the D pairs have been shuffled. It's still Vlasic Crevier, but Kaiser's now with Matt Grzelcyk, and then Ethan Del Mastro, who was recalled yesterday just to add some insurance on the 3-game road trip. He's going to slot into the lineup to play with Connor Murphy. Additionally, on the power play, Matt Grzelcyk takes over the first unit power play, and then Wyatt Kaiser's going to get some time running the second unit, which I'm personally very excited about. You guys know my two favorite players practically. I mean, I obviously, Bedard, Nazar, all those guys, but I really am a huge fan of Ilya Mikheyev and Wyatt Kaiser. Those are two of my guys pretty much. I love watching them play, so I'm really excited to see Kaiser get a shot on the second unit power play. The Blackhawks have been fortunate enough to have a lot of power play options throughout this season, but I am really excited to see Kaiser get some run because I think he can run it very well. Power play units for tonight. The first unit is going to be Tyler Bertuzzi in the net front row, Burakovsky, Nazar, Lardis staying on PP1, and then Matt Grzelcyk quarterbacking it. The second unit has Colton Dach in the net front row, which if you watch some of the videos, I'm very excited for that as well. He's been on it the past few games, but I really like Dach in that second unit net front row. I think he is built for a power play net front row. Donato, Green, Teravainen are also on the second unit, and then Kaiser is quarterbacking it, as I said. Now, we did get another Connor Bedard injury update this morning from Kevin Weeks, who finally gave us clarity on what exactly the Bedard injury is. Per Kevin Weeks, Connor Bedard is dealing with a separated shoulder. We got the update yesterday from Jeff Blashill that Bedard will be reevaluated after the new year. So early January is going to be when he gets kind of the checkup. Now, based off a quick Google, which is the #1 source if you're dealing with anything medical related, the grade 1 shoulder, separated shoulder can put you out for 2 to 4 weeks. Grade 2, about 4 to 8 weeks. Grade 3, 12 weeks or longer. And if there was surgery, 12 weeks or longer. Now, something I forgot to include in yesterday's video is that Bedard will not be getting shoulder surgery as of right now. They're going to attempt first to rehab the injury without surgery. So it's a pretty positive sign. Bedard and Frank Nazar were also on Elliot Friedman's 32 Thoughts podcast this morning. They did an interview there, and Bedard sounds like he's in pretty positive spirits if you listen to that interview. So it certainly doesn't sound like this is going to be the worst case scenario where this is going to keep him out for multiple months. It feels like now this may be as short as a 1-month absence. He could maybe return as early as mid-January. So I am going to backtrack a little bit on what I said yesterday. I said that this injury kind of killed Bedard's Olympic cases, and I thought that he could be out through the Olympic break. But now that we have a little bit more information, we've been able to hear from Bedard and just hear that how positive a spirit he's in. I don't want to go that far. I think I may have been a little bit extreme. I like to throw out all the different scenarios on the table, but I think what might be more accurate is that Bedard could still make the Olympic team as a potential roster player that gets replaced if he's still injured come Olympic time, come close to that Olympic break. But it does seem more likely now that he may return in mid-January to late January is probably the earliest we could see him, and it feels like that may be more likely than him sitting out through the Olympic break. Now, I still stand by that. If Bedard's, ready to return with only like 2 games left before the Olympic break, I'd just rather have him sit out, get the whole month off, basically make sure he's 110% before returning. But it does seem like there is a possibility he returns earlier than that, and he can still play come late January, early February. So, and it doesn't seem like his Olympic chances are 100% shot. Definitely did. There's no way to deny it. They definitely took a hit with this injury. He wasn't like he was a guarantee to make the team before this. It still felt like he's kind of 50-50, and then with the injury, it certainly doesn't help his case, but I still think there is, I guess, an outside chance he still is named to the team. Could just be replaced if he's still injured, and he could return to the Blackhawks before the Olympic break. So definitely positive updates. It sounds like Bedard's been doing pretty well. It seems like he's in good spirits. He said on the 32 Thoughts podcast that his shoulder's actually feeling pretty good. And obviously we know he's going to do everything he can to return as soon as possible. We know from the jaw injury he suffered 2 years ago, he returned well before the timeline was given for him. He was like a week or plus maybe ahead of that timeline. So we know he's going to return as fast as possible. So it still feels like we don't quite have enough information to know exactly a specific timeline, but it does seem like it could be as early as mid to late January for a Bedard return. So we'll see what happens. The update after the new year, early January, that's going to really tell us a lot more about when he may be able to return. But that's all we have for now. We finally got a little bit of clarity on what exactly the injury is. So yeah, those are the Blackhawks updates we have. Again, Blackhawks play in Toronto tonight. We'll have the post-game video up after that, unless we have another update video coming out for whatever reason. I think that's pretty unlikely though, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, Levchenov going to be scratched tonight. Not a big deal there, I don't think so. And then we got a little bit of a Bedard update. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. We'll see you tonight for post-game thoughts.